I am working on the I Am the Solution workshop. It's a virtual weekend. And since I've been gone for an entire week, I've been pretty not on social media as much as I normally am, and taking a little break from it, which has been really nice. And so I just want to make sure that if you have any questions, because we did a Q&A, I answered some of your questions, but it wasn't live because I was on vacation with Robert. We went to Tennessee and it was just absolutely wonderful. So for those of you who might have any questions about what is going on with the workshop, and you're welcome to write a Q and ask your questions, or you can text me at 407-373-5959. I want to encourage all of you to consider doing the weekend, the virtual weekend, which is going to be phenomenal and transformational. So I wanted to start with the whole concept of our belief system. Reward certain things, reward certain attitudes, attributes that may not necessarily be the best for you. It may be a part of you, but it may not be fulfilling you. And so when I think of that, I want to talk about continuing education, which is the thought that has been kind of moving in my heart is continuing education. I've been a part of continuing education courses. I have been on the receiving end of continuing education courses. And those are so important because they keep you in tune with what's happening in your field. So whether it's taking a course on telling a story for me, or learning a little bit more about marketing, or for you, it might be the latest in nursing, or being a doctor and having to continue, or a PhD, a JD, whatever it is, a mechanic, it doesn't matter what it is, you're required to do continuing education. If not, things will pass you by. They will just flip over you. And the next thing you know is that your training will be obsolete because technology goes beyond what you learned at the moment you learned it. There are new tools, new techniques. But do we ever think of that, of our soul? And we learned that the soul, through Dr. Lorraine Day, that the soul is really what we call spirit, that the whole body is a soul. And what about continuing education for the soul? Well, some people take Bible study courses, which we started with the New Truth series, the book of Revelation, and that was phenomenal. And the next one's going to be the New Truth series, 50 lessons from Exodus with Dr. Lorraine Day. And so we're really excited about bringing that and doing continuing education when it comes to our spirituality. But we're more than just that. There are different sides of us. We are moms and fathers, and we are workers, and we are spiritual. We are physical body. We are relationship body. We are giving back body. But sometimes we don't do continuing education when it comes to those things. And that is why between the book of Revelation and the 50 lessons from Exodus, between those two 12-week studies, we're creating the next one, which is this weekend's workshop. That's November 13th, 14th, and 15th for I Am the Solution. That weekend is about exploring your belief system. So I have a challenge for you. As you know, I tell the story of the time that I looked at the word believe in a totally different way. I was blow drying my hair. I was frustrated with something that wasn't working to my time. And all of a sudden I looked at my vision board, and in my vision board, I saw the word believe. Now, my vision board has a lot of torn things from magazines, names, things that were important to me that just jumped at me. And the word believe was white, but the IE was red. And I know that if something is not happening in your life, it's because the belief doesn't support it. So as I looked at my vision board that was just absolutely beautiful, I saw the IE, and what I saw was that there's a lie at the center of the word believe. There's a lie at the center at belief. Oh my goodness, what an incredible vision that I had never seen before. And all of a sudden, I asked myself the question, what is the lie at the center of my belief? What is no longer supporting me that is keeping me from what I want? And then I thought, what if everything I believed that was true was a lie? But what if everything I thought was a lie is truth? That just blew me away. I had to share about it. I wrote about it. I have been consistent about sharing that story with you to kind of let you see an insight on me, to be able to look at my belief from the front and the back and the side. And once I did that, things started changing within me, even more than I have looked for since 2012 when I started my personal growth. I fought for my beliefs. I knew I was right because I was trained by right fighters. I lived in a home of right fighters, and I've shared this with my family, and I've shared this with my friends, and I've shared it with you. Now, that doesn't make them mean or awful or evil or anything to that effect, is that I was trained to fight for what I believed in. But what if what I believe in is a lie? And what if everything I thought was a lie is true? Oh my gosh. What would your life be like if you took that new set of eyes into everything that you do? So this weekend, and I've got to come up with and if you guys have any questions, hey, John, how are you? I'm so glad that you're watching. And for those of you who are watching, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. So the weekend, I am the solution weekend. It's a virtual weekend worldwide. So we're all going to come together to explore all these things that we learned from before we were born, maybe even transferred in vitro from your mom. Maybe you're carrying somebody else's burden that wasn't resolved before you were born. What if whatever is happening to you has nothing to do with you, but you're fulfilling somebody else's unresolved issues? Could that be you? There's so much we don't know. We don't know. What happens to unresolved issues in our lives? I will tell you that I was giving a presentation not too long ago. Well, actually, it was a couple of years ago, and I've shared about this too. And I remember talking to this individual about, some of the beliefs that we have, some of the forgiveness and having to let go of things, to be able to remember something, but without the anger and frustration and all those things that come to our spirit when we think of it. And I remember this woman saying, someone I cared about, she said, oh, I don't want to remember anything. I want to forget my childhood. And that is when it hit me once again. I believe these truths kind of hit me so that my life will change, so that I don't repeat some of the things that have been, that I've seen throughout my life. And I remember saying to this woman, but if you forget that, what else will you forget? That's called dementia. She wanted to forget everything. And I say, remember it, deal with it, and move on from it. Because where will that go to? Where will that energy go to if it's unresolved? Well, we know it goes into the body. And as we've learned with Dr. Lorraine Day, that 99% of all diseases begin in the heart. So this weekend, November 13th, 14th, and 15th, we will discover all those things about us that we just don't want to look at. Again, I started this whole thing talking about continuing education. But what about the continuation, the education of your soul? That means your entire body. What would your life be like if you actually said, I will choose forgiveness. I will choose to remember in a loving way. I will choose to look at it instead of a victim. I choose to look at it as someone who's owning it. That this was something in Romans 8, it says, God works things out for the good of all. But if it works, if these things are worked out for the good of all, then that means it's good, even if we perceive it as bad at the moment. So what if everything that happens to you is good? That is a promise. So what if? How would you see that situation? So this weekend, the November 13th, 14th, and 15th, and I'll tell you, Friday, it's going to start at 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to learn about the mind and the mindset, and we're going to learn all about what we do want. What is our vision? Because many people tell me, well, I know what I don't want, but what do you want? Because whatever you focus on will manifest itself. So if you're focusing on what you don't want, you will get more of what you don't want. So we will look at retraining the brain on what you do want. What do you want? So that's the first thing we're going to do on Friday night. And we're going to create our own vision for ourselves. But first, before we do that, we're going to look at how the brain works and how it functions. So that's Friday night, right in there. But we're going to start looking at some of these things that have hurt us, that have wronged us, that we refuse to forgive. And we're going to look at them with a new set of eyes. Then on Saturday, and remember, all these times are Eastern time. So on Saturday, November 14th, we're going to gather at noon to 3 because we honor the Sabbath, but we're going to spend some time in our spirituality and how to build a closer relationship with God. So whether you don't believe in God or you do believe in God and you want a stronger relationship or you have an ultimate relationship with God, we're going to dive into that and learn how to improve upon wherever you're at. It's not to convert you, not to make you feel that if you don't believe a certain way, there's something wrong. Again, it's to explore with curiosity instead of being critical. Diving into something that you may not know that you don't know. Diving into the love that is within you that perhaps you don't know how to give to yourself. You can give it to others, but you don't know how to give them to yourself. So that's day number 2. And then the third day is the solution portion. And this is going to be interactive. So plan on really diving in and taking your soul shovel and digging and digging and digging until there's only truth. That is it. And then on Sunday, that's the big thing, it's going to be from noon to 6 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to learn, like I said, the acronym of solution so that it's always with you. You know, we talk about the frontal lobe, and the frontal lobe is where our spirituality, where our good versus wrong is. This is our morality, where everything sits. This is where you become responsible. This is where you develop what it is that you stand for. We're going to explore this frontal lobe and we're going to replace it with certain things that will support you. May not supported you when you were a child, may have supported you then when you were a child. But as you get older, it may not support you anymore. So what can we do to change our lives? Now, who can come to this workshop? It's worldwide. It is worldwide. And so I want to give you the image of a parachute. How good is a parachute if it doesn't open? How good is it? Even if you have it in the back, if you refuse to pull on the parachute, it will not open. So how good will that be for you? But if you tug on that parachute and that parachute opens, that's the kind of mindset that I'm looking for. And even if you're not there and you would like to be there, that's good. It's a start. It's a start. And I've heard this saying before, and I've shared it in the movie I Bought a Zoo, which is it only takes 20 seconds of courage to take that first step. It just takes 20 seconds of courage to make that move. And so today I am inviting you to I am the solution. I am the solution so that you can start seeing yourself and the I am in you as the solution for your life. No longer will you rely on somebody else to create the life that you desire, that you want, because we're going to create it together. Now, does this sound like something you would like to do? Continuing education of the soul. It is not continuing education of something that's going to hurt you. There are certain things that we do that continue that whole sabotage thing. And we get really good at that. So we're going to learn about what controls us, our mind, what controls us from doing what we want to do. And let me tell you, some of the things that damage that frontal lobe is alcohol, smoking, sugar, pornography, drugs, nicotine. I did say smoking. No one ever runs into a burning building and say, let me breathe the air. Actually, people die to save your life from that smoke. This is this moment. But what can you do to expand your frontal lobe so that you can learn? Because if you don't know what you stand for, you will fall for anything. So know what it is in these new truths that we're exploring, and we will explore even more. And it's the mindset. So if you tell me you don't have enough time, then I will tell you, neither do I. But we do what is important to us. And you will take the time for continuing education. But this is continuing education of your soul. Are you there? Are you willing to explore that with me? November 13th, 14th, and 15th. Are you there yet? Have you had enough of your life? Have you looked at your life through negative eyes? What could I do better? Oh, I'm not good enough. Are you done with that? What are you willing to do to achieve the life that you want? And of course, I've got to end with the great philosopher Meatloaf that sings the song, I would do anything for. And we all know the answer to that is love. But then he says, but I won't do that. What are you willing to do to live the life that you want? What are you willing to do? Not what you won't do. So we will explore that this weekend together. Will you join me for this? If you come, it doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It just means you want to make it better. It doesn't mean that you're weak. It means that you're strong enough to look at yourself and say, I know I can. I know I'm worthy. I know I'm enough. What if people that they say, oh my goodness, I try to lose weight all the time. I try to lose weight. We're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about anything and everything in your life. Because let me tell you something. The moment you start forgiving, the moment you start releasing, that weight is going to leave you. And it's not about losing weight anymore. It's about becoming healthy. What are some of the ways that we've learned health? Oh, I'm going to share that with you. And we're going to have 2 surprise people. One to talk about on Saturday about spirituality and where we're at. And the other one's going to talk about nutrition. And you may know who they are because they are friends of the classroom, people that have truly pierced my heart with new truths. And I'm excited that they'll be able to spend time because remember, space is limited. So I want you to act now. I want you to check out, go to whenyouneedafriend.com and you go to the I Am the Solution series, or I will post the link below. And I don't know if Robert, if you're watching, if you want to post it, but let me see if there's any questions from you guys. I'm not used to this mouse here. I just want to make sure that if you have any questions, feel free to text me at 407-373-5959, or you can actually message me or email me at lily@whenyouneedafriend.com. If you instant message me, you can go to Lillian's radio show on Facebook, or you can ask a question below, whatever it is. I'm here to support you. If you are tired of looking in the mirror and not wanting to see who you really are, and you're drowning it out with things that don't matter, and then you say, I don't have time, then it's time. It is time because you have the same time I do, and I'm making the time for it, and I hope you do too. So I just wanted to come on to live and share with you how excited I am about the 13th, 14th, and 15th of November. And remember, the times are Eastern time. And I do hope and I pray that you will join us because it will be a transformational weekend. And I am truly excited about you being with us. And remember, when you pack your parachute, make sure it's you who's packing it, not anybody else. It's not anybody else's responsibility how your parachute opens, but yours. And so I hope that you will pray for an open mind, for an open attitude, for a new set of eyes, so that we can work together. And I promise you, the people that will join us, even though at first they may seem like strangers, I promise you, they will become your family. So that's it for now. I'm just excited and wanted to share. Click on the link below. I will go ahead and post the link below and register today because space is limited. Okay? Okay, go ahead. I'll go ahead and put it on there as soon as we're done here. And we'll see you.